Time now for our podcast guest today here on the Perth Wildcast. Now, we did try to get this guy last week, but he is very busy, and I don't blame him.
We had to pay a lot of money to get him today.
Oh, my goodness. You don't know how much. I'm surprised we don't have a jersey for him either. This man made his career as an extremely impressive AFL footballer. He has since become the number one ticket holder of the Perth Wildcats, usurping Dennis Cometti, who's an absolute legend in this town. His name is Nick Naitanui, and he joins us on the Perth Wildcast. Nick, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's a pleasure.
In terms of becoming the number one ticket holder, how did that all come about?
Yeah, it was tough. It was something that I was a bit stunned by, but obviously it was a privilege and an honour to be asked that question. Sam, actually, who works at the Wildcats, sent me a text and wanted to catch up for lunch with the new owner in Mark Arena down at City Beach, and I thought they were going to offer me a spot as a centre or something in the team, but yeah, I thought
You're ready for it.
I'm ready to go in my new chapter, but that wasn't it. It was a number one ticket holder, and I was, like I said, I was happy and excited, but I was it was more daunting to think about who was going to be the person to knock on Dennis Cometti's door and tell him that he's no longer the number one ticket holder. Everyone that lives in this town knows Dennis is the face of WA and the voice as well in particular. So to ask him to move seats, or he's no longer sitting in his seat, was because some young guy's going to come and do it. And, he's called pretty much every second one of my games. So, I don't know who actually went and did that, but someone obviously did.
You didn't have to do it.
Well, I haven't bumped into him at a game, and I don't know if you've met Dennis' son. He's a big boy. He's a former pro wrestler, like he was in the WWE or something like that. So he's a big dude. So I expected him to come and tap me on the shoulder at one game this season, but I haven't seen him yet. So fingers crossed. They're in good spirits, and I don't know, maybe he's sitting courtside. I haven't seen him.
No.
So my thing is, I hear number one ticket holder, and I just assume that means you bought the most tickets. Like that's kind of what I thought until you just said it was offered to you. What does that mean that it was like offered? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Everyone asked me that question. They said, what does it entail being a number one ticket holder? We've always had him at the Eagles. I know we've had some notable ones in Daniel Ricciardo, Sam Kerr. It's just an ambassador. To be honest, you get some free tickets, and I haven't got a jersey yet, but I'll be looking for a peppermint one. Yeah, I might rock the peppermint one. There you go. But no, it's pretty much just being around, supporting the club, and then I guess showcasing it whenever I can to go on to functions and things like that. So, it's something that's probably entrenched in my blood in this town, and something I've always loved. I've been watching the Wildcats since I was a young kid living here in Perth. So, yeah, but if you need some tickets, man, I think I know someone that might be able to get you some.
Yeah, I'll take a ticket to a game. That'd be nice.
Awesome. So yeah, how are you enjoying reconnecting with the Wildcats?
It's been good. Like I said, I used to watch them at the old entertainment centre. So for those now, what's there now? Market Grounds is the nightclub that's there now. So that was the old basketball stadium. So I went there as a kid, and then obviously travelled around when it moved to different spots, and it's been good. It's a different vibe, different space. The club's got a rich history, but it's been good reconnecting. I've obviously kept pretty close with some of the past players and some of the current ones. So it's actually a different atmosphere when you're actually in the inner sanctum at times and seeing what they do behind closed doors.
What? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot. The biggest, I guess, pest. Like, what was the most annoying part of having to come into the number one ticket holder spotlight selection, whatever it may be?
Yeah, it's probably the thing you harped on, the tickets. I didn't have to buy 100 tickets, but people expected that I have 100 tickets to give away. So as soon as it got announced, my inbox got filled up within seconds around people going, "Oh, I really wanted to see the Wildcats. I just have never had a chance to go. Do you know anyone that can get this and that?"
Freeloaders.
Yeah, pretty much. But I expected it, but I just pick and choose now. I guess I say yes and no to who I can. I've got a couple seats around me, but besides that, no. I just say it's sold out every week, because it normally is too. The Wildcats game are pretty sold out. So
they pack it out.
They actually are.
Yeah, and I think it's probably similar to the West Coast Eagles or the Dockers. Like, it's actually hard to get a lot of tickets. Like, clubs know that there's a monetary figure attached to that ticket, so they'll rather sell it than give it to their players.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no such thing as getting a whole row of seats, but that's probably been the most annoying thing, but something that I sort of understood would come with the role.
Is there a former player who's bugged you the most?
Name dropping.
Yeah, go
Throw
on.
him under the bus.
Yeah, throw them.
Nah, there's too many. Former coaches, everything. No, it's there's been a lot, but every man and his dog. But I don't know, Perth, everyone's sort of connected, so they can find a way to get tickets regardless.
That is true.
Or they can just line up and get it from Ticketmaster and get it like everyone else.
Yeah.
Become a member.
Just purchase a ticket.
100%.
So who's your favorite player to watch?
I don't know. It's everyone's favorite player. Bryce is my favorite. Yeah, I just like the way he goes about his business. He's pretty quiet man off the court as well. It's funny. My first introduction to Bryce was I have a friend who used to run a sneaker store, and he said, "Oh, we're going to catch up for lunch." He goes, "Oh, I've just got to go pick this thing up. Going to come for a ride, and I got to drop it at someone's house." And we went and picked up one of those electric bikes a couple of years ago, and we went and picked it up. And he speaks French, so he was speaking French with these guys in the warehouse. And then we went to this guy's house, and then Bryce walks out, and I'm like, "Why am I doing deliveries for Bryce Cotton?" And like, where's my life at where I'm doing that? And and he was so like normal about it. He was, had the family, had his kid, and no, ever since that day, I have a mountain of respect for Bryce because he's such a quiet, unassuming guy. But when he crosses that line and goes into the court, he's a different beast. Everyone, you can see how small he is in stature, but what he doesn't have in height, he makes up for with heart. So he's a dangerous man, but he's probably my favorite to watch because he just, I don't know.
I'm gonna have to ask him what he's doing with that bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen him use a electric bike in my 5 months here.
Really? Maybe he was selling it for marketplace. Maybe I was just his middleman. Yeah, like I said, it came from some French
He
guys
gets
in
it
a
for
little
free
warehouse.
and sells it for a couple thousand.
That's clever. That's clever work from him.
Yeah,
That's
follow
not
up. He's probably got a lot of those
That's why he's
things.
being so thankful about it.
Yeah.
You just made him some money.
I did. Follow up for me, please. Please do.
So obviously you are a big basketball fan. Did you play basketball growing up? Were you?
Yeah, I played.
Did you want to play pro? Like, did you have goals of
Yeah, I
any kind
did.
of anything like that?
Yeah, I think as most kids, you wanted to be, everyone's got the Michael Jordan posters or the LeBron James, whoever it is, growing up. And I wanted to watch. I used to watch LeBron and Melo go head to head in high school, and I had the mixtapes back on YouTube, and I used to just download it. Some of it legally, some of it illegally.
We all did that.
Same as your
Gotta do
music,
what you
same
gotta
as your
do.
music with LimeWire and whatnot.
No, we never did that. Troy.
Never
No,
did
no,
that.
no,
Sorry, in a radio
no.
station. Yeah, or I listened to it on the radio. It was, but yeah, like I used to just sit there and watch that stuff and have the dreams and aspirations to play in the big league. I played for my local club with a few other footballers who went on to play AFL, and we had a pretty good side. And then I went and played at my brother. I've got a twin brother. He went and played up at the Eastern Suns, and then I went and played at the Perry Lake Hawks for a couple of years. And I don't know, you get to that age where you've got to
Make a
decide
Mm.
what sport do you want to take serious, what do you want to do, and football was probably the one that made most sense in this state. And it was hard because I saw a lot of those guys go on to play college basketball, go to St. Mary's and things like that, and I followed a few of their careers and going, would have been pretty cool to be at a college in America, but I don't know, I look back and I got to play in front of big crowds in the AFL, and it sort of makes up for it. So, I had the dream to play NBA, or NBL, but never got there.
Did you ever pull a switcheroo with your twin?
No, when we were younger, but no, when we got older, we grew differently. So, yeah, the twin didn't really look like a twin.
Yeah, so I know quite a few people that kind of played both basketball and AFL, and then had to pick, and then have a variety of who picked AFL and who picked basketball. But a lot of people say like the skills kind of transfer over. Would you say why does it transfer?
I think it's just the hand-eye coordination. I think, just the your vision as well, peripheral vision, like knowing where to stand, where to look to see. I guess football contact comes from all different angles, from behind, from the side, from in front of you. So basketball is the same. You see those guys that are really good at assisting, and people think they got eyes on the back of their head because they just know where everyone is. They got to touch and feel. I know everyone harps on about it, but Scott Pendlebury at Collingwood, everyone talks about how that sort of transferred into AFL, playing that basketball. I think he was in the AIS squad. He and sort of Paddy Mills switched over. Paddy went on to Paddy was a gun footballer and went on to play NBA, and then Pendles went on to play AFL. So there's been a lot of cases where a lot of guys have had to pick and choose between those two. Same as cricket, a lot of guys could have played cricket, but I always have a query about that stuff because there's always those guys that, and I'm probably one of those guys who goes, I had to make that decision. A lot of us knew we were all right, but we weren't that good, so we picked the thing that we knew we could get the furthest in. So every time someone says I had to make that choice between cricket or football or basketball, I'm like, I don't know if you were that good. But
Question.
who knows? Yeah, I'll question them. So if you ever hear it, let them know.
Yeah.
So you're telling us you wouldn't have been that good in the NBL?
Nah, I would have been okay. Like I can dunk, but I watch guys like this guy shoot. Nah, I'm not pulling up from 3. It'd be embarrassing. I wouldn't even take the half court shot at half time for 10 grand that they do at the moment. I wouldn't even do that.
Have you been asked?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not allowed. I've had my troubles with the on court stuff at the Wildcats game, so I've just stayed away. I sit in my seat.
I think another translating skill would be the vertical, just kind of like you displayed at the dunk, as we're talking about.
Yes.
You want to talk about kind of the memory of that and what was going on there a little bit?
I was just young and excited. I think. It was a weird sort of build up. I was meant to go. There was a big festival on. I don't know, Kings of Leon or someone were playing out somewhere, and I had a chance to go to that, and my friends were all there, and it was too busy, so I was like, I'm going to the Wildcats, and I knew the court announcer at the time who was working, and I was sitting there next to the bench, and I just said to him, I said, man, it's kind of, I don't like to sound disrespectful, but I'm like, man, these guys are 6'6", 7 foot, and they're just getting a fast break and laying it up, like someone dunk it, like, and like I said, I watch the NBA, so I'm watching small guys, I'm watching Muggsy Bogues get up there, like. I'm like, why can't these big guys like just throw it down and make it exciting? And he told everyone in the stadium, and so I got a little bit of a boo. So then I was like, oh, well, I'm going to get up and I'll show you how to do it. And he's like, dunk it, and all the cheerleaders line up, and it was egging you on, and you think, oh, I'm king of the world. I said, I'll jump over you. So I dunked it over Aaron Ford, who was working there at the time, and I felt pretty cool. Like it was awesome. I went back to my seat and thought, yeah, this is amazing. Like everyone was clapping and going, wow. But I got a text message from our CEO at the time. So I had a big, interesting meeting on the next morning at the club on the Monday morning, and it was I had to get some sort of counselling on risk versus reward, what you should be doing, insurance, putting your other teammates at risk or at jeopardy of having to play more minutes if you're not out there playing. So it was I went from the highs of highs to the lows of lows. So but then I don't know, I was always confused because I'm like, I play on the ruck for those that watch football, and I was like, you guys pay me to jump for a living. So, like, all I did was pretty much that, but on a basketball court. But, that's probably, so I didn't go to games for a number of years after that, post that. And then now I'm back, and now I'm closer to the court. So,
Well, following on from that, would you ever do it again with or without a courtside announcer to jump over? Are we going to see it?
I just don't think I could. I reckon Neil's got a better chance than I do. Yeah. I think I'd love to do it again. I just don't know if I'd be able to. Yeah.
What if we get you a trampoline?
Yeah.
No, I saw those guys.
Whoa.
Those guys, and like the timeouts and stuff. Those guys are crazy. They're doing their flips and somersaults.
If you have a trampoline, you have to do a front flip or a back flip or something.
No chance. There's no chance. Even seeing Wilbur go around and do his backflips in the suit, I'm like, nah. Not for me.
You don't want to zip line from the
nah,
rooftops?
even that. Surely you guys look at that and go, that's wild.
Oh, I think it's insane.
Yeah.
Coolest thing ever.
All you need is one time.
Why don't you do it? There we go. So you like it, so why don't you do it?
Oh, no, nah. I like watching it.
Your games don't cross over as much. There's time where you can do it.
We'll get you in a link suit and have a collab.
There we go. Done.
Yeah, I'll be the Wildcat. I'll be the Lynx. Yeah. Woo!
First home game back for the Perth Wildcats.
I like it.
Wilbur all of a sudden jumps from the rafters. No. It's Mila.
It's me.
It's Mila doing
Plot
it.
twist.
I reckon you'll get a bit more press from that than you will from Wilbur. So
I might get the risk reward.
There we go. That's all right. I reckon it's worth it. I reckon the Wildcats and the Lynx will love that.
So you're not returning back to the Wildcats. Was that just because of what had happened with the slam dunk?
Yeah, I still watch from TV on my couch, but I wasn't to go to games. But I'm back. Like I said, I'm back, and a brand new stadium and everything. So it wasn't the worst little hiatus.
As a current player now, Elijah, because I know that there's always the talk of, the West Coast Eagles or Fremantle want to get someone from the Perth Wildcats to come along and see what it's like being an AFL player, or there might be those sort of crossovers. Do you have those sort of requests come through from the clubs, or is everything sort of very locked down nowadays in terms of the sort of professional sportsman not taking too many risks like Nick Nat did back in the day?
I mean, first of all, I'd love to do something with footy. I think it'd be fun.
Oh, hello.
I mean, guys are athletes as well. It's like in off season, what do you expect me to do? Like, I can't go and do another sport or something like that. I mean, I think it's a little bit ridiculous personally. But we have had. I was supposed to do some stuff with Sonny.
Sonny Walters, from Fremantle.
Yeah, right when I got here, I think he was supposed to teach me how to kick a footy and all that fancy stuff and learn the rules and. I don't know, just how to play. I don't know if that involved me jumping over somebody or anything like that.
Let's go.
Do you reckon the Wildcats will tick it off? Yeah.
I'd try it if they let me. I think I might have to talk to management. I don't want a duplicate situation, but if it was allowed, I'd do something like that. I think it'd be fun to do, and I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna try and hurt me doing it.
Well, I hope they don't, unless they're a Melbourne United supporter for some
Yeah,
reason. But
hopefully
anyway.
we can get Sonny to do something with the Wildcats soon in terms of
Get him the dunk. Get him
Little-
the dunk.
little
and then you
media
can go.
crossover.
How do you reckon Sonny Walters would go trying to? He'd need the trampoline.
Oh, he tries to take mark of the year every second week, so he can go and jump on someone and then try and do it. But
Speaking of Sonny
Give it a go.
Walters, and merely you'd know this, Sonny Walters, Michael Walters from the Fremantle Dockers, he's the #1 ticket holder for the Perth Lynx.
Yes, he is. Yeah, we love it. We love it. Also heard that you lived on the same street as him growing up. Is this true?
yeah, we did. So we played all our junior football and basketball together.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so it's funny now that he's the #1 ticket holder of the Lynx and I'm at the Wildcats because it's like we're neighbours again, and we're neighbours in our footy code with West Coast and Fremantle, and no, but he's come a long way, and he's got young daughters now who are very keen basketballers. So
Yeah,
I
I
was
see them on the sideline.
yeah, so I was actually watching my niece play in the state comps over the weekend, and she played against Sonny's daughter's team, and
Oh, awesome.
he's got a good little. He's very competitive, like any athlete. He's
Yeah.
competitive. So as much as he was the water boy, the team manager, he was doing everything he could to make sure his team were fresh and running little plays. And
Oh,
I was like, man,
nice.
these are under like 12s. Like, these are under 13 girls. Like, let them just do their thing, have fun. But I could see what he's doing, and they end up winning. So
air gun on the side.
yeah,
Yeah,
he had all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, he had all the
Quick massage,
Fremantle Dockers
masseuses.
kit. He had the
Yeah.
Fremantle Dockers ice little recovery pants and all this stuff. So I'm like, they're taking it serious, but it paid off. They ended up winning the whole thing, and
Yes.
he took him out for dinner and whatnot. So I'm like, yeah, he got the last laugh. So we'll be ready next year.
Yeah. Who out of you two who's more into basketball? Who's a bigger basketball nuffy?
I think we both are. He probably is. He watches a lot of basketball. Like, he's one of those guys that can name every player from every team.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, so I love my basketball too, but no, he lives and breathes it. He probably has a basketball in his car. He's one of those guys that has a ball everywhere he goes.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But yeah, that's why he's been so talented in his own sport in football, because he's one of those kids everywhere you went, he'd carry a footy around to anywhere, like to school, to the park, to the shopping centre, wherever he was. He had a football in hand, so it just becomes another extension of your body when you have something like that. And I don't know, you guys are probably the same. Do you get, do you have a basketball with you at most times?
Oh yeah.
Definitely
thought
have
you'd
it in
have
the
one.
car.
You didn't want to bring
I-
one in
I
here
haven't-
today? Yeah.
Nah, I don't see a
Yeah,
hoop
go
in
on
here.
right
We need a little mini hoop.
Yeah, but I think that's
Um,
part of it being a professional athlete, is just having touch and feel the ball. So then it's just, it becomes.
I have one in the trunk of my car at
Yeah.
all times.
There you go. Surely the Wildcats and Lynx are giving you unlimited supply of basketballs.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Back
saw
in the States,
Keanu-
I'd have a football.
Yeah,
Just
there you
saying.
go. Yeah. See, there you go. I saw Keanu the other day actually, and I said to him, I was like he needed a ball and he didn't have one. He had to use mine, and I'm like, surely your club gives you some. But then again, I don't know. They're not cheap. Basketball and football aren't cheap.
Expensive stuff.
So, yeah.
Talk to the owner.
You can find ways to get out of the building. Don't worry.
Yeah,
you
that's
can
true.
find ways to take it home.
So the specimen of a man, Elijah Pepper over here, he's a Hulk.
I think you could play football. I sit in the stands and I say to people, I don't understand why this guy's playing basketball. And I've seen your highlights. I've seen you shoot. I know what you do, but I'm like, he's built to just like get off me, like just push people off. Like I'm like
where are we putting him on the field?
on ball.
Whereabouts?
I'm putting him
Yeah,
on ball. I'm
exactly.
like tapping to something like that. Like
Yeah.
that's
What's
loops.
on ball? What's that mean?
In and
in
under,
the
getting the
midfield.
footy, and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Is that when they throw it up? Is the guys fighting in the middle for it?
No, that's my role. That's what I did.
Oh, then
So yeah, but you can do that too. I reckon you can give that a go. You can
But
jump.
when he knocks it down, then there's a midfielder that's going to go collect the ball and
Oh,
try and
yeah, I
handball
can
it
do
or kick
that.
it. That's you.
nice. Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
What's your speed like?
Let's say it's good enough.
Yeah. I reckon
yeah.
you'd be good.
Yeah, I always say it. Like I think, I actually sat with Michael Walters two games ago, and he said the same thing. He was like, "Oh, he'd be a good fit for a football team." So
Imagine Elijah Pepper
Oh,
at the bottom
there
of the
you
pack.
go.
if you start getting
Trying to
upset at the
tackle him.
Wildcats, I'll introduce you to a team down the road.
Hey, I'm not against it. Maybe I'll consider an early retirement and switch.
Oh, I love it. There's the headline right there.
In terms of how you've seen the Wildcats season, starting to find a fair bit of form in the last few weeks or so. I think,
Yeah.
obviously, a lot of talk is Bryce has come back. That's where the improvements come from. But I think
Nah.
the synergy seems to be hitting as well.
I think so. I think that's been a little part of it. But I said to the coaches the other day, I think it was better. I'm not saying it was better, but it was really good. How do I word this without sounding bad? It was actually really pleasing when Bryce was injured because it allowed other guys to flourish and actually showcase what they can do and take on a bit more responsibility. And Even like Almanza and guys like that who are over, like he's just grown in stature so much the past few weeks, and just everyone knew he had talent, but you've just started seeing some of that come out, and that's probably from confidence and minutes. Like guys need minutes as well. Like sometimes when you've got a person that's that hot and on fire and is getting the ball all the time, you're just playing. You're a role player, which most guys are happy to do. But then when that guy's gone for a bit, you become that number one person. And I know you guys will probably never say it, but it's like you have to do what you got to do, and you start to shine then. So I actually enjoyed seeing what other players can do, whether it is Windler or Doolittle or Peppermint over there.
Yes, you're on to do.
It's actually been really good. And then I got to the point where I text Bryce. I was like, oh, you have to find a spot for you when you get back. You might have to come back through, through training for a few while and then work your way back. But he's slotted back in and found his way. And I think that just let everyone else lift as well, because everyone knows that if, Bryce is on the bench or if whoever's not out there, they can fill that void. And like you said, there's been a lot of injuries, guys like Keanu and that in and out of the side, and with illness over the last few weeks. Guys have just filled that void, and that next man up has just come in and played that role. And I think that's what's made the Wildcats such a successful club and drawn so many people's eyes to this place. Like I know we've got some stars in the team, but you see guys like Dash Daniels come over and train for a couple of days and sit courtside, and the excitement. I know he signed over East, but most guys wouldn't even look to do that at many clubs. And I think at the Wildcats, you're able to do it because you see how successful the club is and how hard they want to work to develop and train their youngsters and their new players up.
Yeah, I think it's like a really good point, because you're on a team and like everyone's so vital, right? And you've got to be ready when your time comes to make the most of it. And all the training you've done preparing for it. Yeah, when it's your opportunity, that's your time to showcase the hard work. And I think that's part of being in a team sport. But it's awesome to see that. We're able to see it this season.
Yeah, most people don't get the opportunity. Like you see what some people flourish a lot better when they go to other teams. It's just because they're getting more minutes and things like that. It's not because they're a terrible player, but sometimes your team requires you just to play a role, and every team needs a role player. But I don't know, when you've got stars, and Perth's always had some stars in their sides over the years. Their second or third best players, would be the best player in any other side. So. I think the team has a lot of depth this year, which is good, and hopefully no one's getting too disgruntled if they're not playing as many minutes as what they want, because, like you said, traveling isn't an issue, especially when you're winning. Like those flights over East are terrible; they're the worst thing ever. But when you're winning, they're nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
No, I think it's underrated as well, especially early on with you get those other guys getting reps. You see it all the time in places like the NBA where somebody gets hurt for half the season. You see a guy start to shine and he's getting all this attention, and then it might not show up at the end of the season when the guy comes back, but then the next season when you have a brand new different team, that guy's got that confidence to flourish in a much bigger role. And I think that's something that, it could even show up at the end of the season. We get into playoffs and, knock on wood, nobody gets hurt, but somebody gets hurt and you're in a game 3 situation, you got to win or go home. You have guys that are ready to step up, that have been in that situation and have played those bigger roles and know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I think, especially early on in the season, obviously it's not a good thing, but in its own way, it's almost good that guys have gotten those minutes, and like we know what Bryce is going to do. Him being hurt for a couple weeks, he came back obviously like no other. But it's good for the other guys to get it, I think, especially.
Maybe he's at home riding that bike around.
I'm going to text him after this and see if he's got any pictures of that thing. Maybe he'll give it to me for free.
I want to know, yeah. I'll come and drop it off.
I love that you're expecting to get it for free. Before we finish up,
he doesn't need it.
He doesn't. No. You did deliver us some drinks here, by the way.
It's hot out there.
It is hot. What are these?
Yeah, these are my drinks. They're called Alta, so you'll see them around. They're going to be around everywhere in the next few weeks, so get around it.
You entrepreneurial person. Look at you go.
Just something to do. Just something else.
Yeah,
But nah,
what made you want to do that?
just a few friends of mine. One's an ex-teammate. One of them is actually in the drink sort of game over in Sydney, and they're like, let's make a healthy drink. As an athlete or anyone, you socialise a fair bit, and you can't have too much sugar, you can't have too many carbs, and our energy skew, which Peppermint over there is drinking, has got no sort of nasties and that sort of thing. So it's our slogan is the energy drinks for people that don't like energy drinks, because we don't really drink Red Bulls and things like that. So It's been a fun process, a learning process, but it's just kicked off and it's going really well as of now. So I'm excited to see what the next few months hold.
Wish you the best of luck with that, but also, of course, continuing on as the number one ticket holder of the Perth Wildcats. Nick Naitanui, thank you very much for joining us on the Perth Wildcast.
Thanks very much for having me. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Nick Naitanui joining us. And Elijah, it turns out you can be a midfielder in an AFL team.
Hey, I can do it. I'm ready to go.
I'm looking forward to the day that happens.
Let me get signed.
I think John really might have something to say about that.
We'll see.
In the off season,
Maybe he'll let me try just one game and see what happens.
I don't know if it'll be a game. I think it'll be a practice session.
I'll take
I
a
was
practice.
like straight into a game. Okay, then.
Yeah,
What?
wow.
Throw me into the fire. I'm ready to go.
From Jeepers Creepers.
Doesn't even know the rules yet.
I've seen them. I know the rules. You kick it,
Oh,
you
quick,
catch it
tell me,
after
like,
5-10
5
meters or whatever it
rules.
is. I just say you're safe. Apparently, it's called a mark.
Good.
I just say you're safe. I think that's the easy way. You can run back and you're safe. You get
Sure.
to kick it from there.
Yeah, it's not quite baseball. But okay.
And then when you hit it, you have to like do the
the handball, yes.
handball thing. Yeah.
Oh, he's ready. Chuck him in the game. I want to see it.
And then just kick it through the middle
You
upright.
dribble too?
Yeah, you got to like
Couple
throw
of
it
dribbles?
down so it bounces back.
Oh, okay.
He's
Done a bit of research.
To know
I
some of this
practice in
knowledge.
weights. We got the rugby guys there.
Oh, true.
Okay.
Western Force. That's
Alright,
true.
course.
But
So they got
A bit different ball,
a little
though.
different ball, but similar. They have a footy ball, I think, AFL ball, and sometimes we just throw it around back and forth, and I'm getting
Heavier.
my practice in, my reps.
he's ready.
He's ready. He's born
ready.
for this. He knew why he came to Australia.
Yeah, exactly. I'm ready to go. I mean, I was born here. It's in the blood.
That is true.
Really?
Old shit boy.
plot
Oh,
Did you not
twist.
know that?
Nah, your voice wouldn't sell that.
I left when I was 3, so
Yeah. Good old Shepparton boy. Hey, quickly again, the Wildcats on the road taking on the Illawarra Hawks. It is Sunday, 11:30 a.m. It is on 10, and it is also on ESPN. Quick question about Bryce once again, but just off sort of Bryce in a way, it's more about the team because we sort of talked about it with Nick before, where Bryce has had a couple of weeks off, other players stepping up. What we've noticed this season is allowing Bryce to not have as much game time as he has. Usually he's playing the full 40 minutes or might take one small break. But this year we've been able to sort of give him a lot more time on the bench and sort of, yet he's still scoring 40-plus points. But that's just, I think, part of everyone stepping up of late.
yeah. I mean, I think that's also something that's going to be underlooked, especially in the long run. I think last year part of why they might have fallen short a little bit is because, I mean, you're relying so much on one guy. Eventually, his legs are going to wear out. I mean, Bryce isn't 27 anymore. I'm not saying he's not in his prime. He's been elite, but it's just going to be, it's hard to play 40 minutes every game all season long and have to play your best at the very end of the season. I mean, him playing 33, 34 minutes, that's a little extra rest. His legs are fresher. He's coming back into the game ready to go. So I think that's going to hopefully help him a lot more, especially when we get into playoffs and he's had a little bit more of rest throughout the games and in the season. So I think that'll help, hopefully.
Will go well on Sunday. It's going to be a huge game. It is Illawarra, who are on top of the table at the moment, taking on the Perth Wildcats, 11:30 a.m. start on Sunday. And the Perth Lynx in action, taking on Bendigo in Bendigo. The top two sides once again. They're still undefeated. Hopefully we can break that this week, this Thursday night at 3:30 WA time, if you want to watch that on 9 Now. So best of luck to you, Mila, over the next couple of days or so as well.
Oh, thank you.
Keep
Appreciate it.
making an MVP case, huh?
Isn't she, though? 100%.
I saw the links posted. They said Mila for MVP.
No.
They did, I swear.
This guy making stuff up.
I think I almost feel like we need to chant that at the next home game. That's
come along,
on
come
Monday
along.
coming up.
Yeah, Christmas.
yeah.
A couple of Christmas carols.
And also, just quickly, I'm enjoying the signs that are coming out for you at the moment.
Oh, actually, not going to lie. I live for them. They are crack up.
They're
You
fantastic.
said you
Yeah.
live with them?
I live for them, yeah.
Oh.
I was like, that is unreal.
She takes them from the fans, takes them home, puts them up
Yeah,
on
I
the wall.
literally live.
with them. It's great. Mila Sowa and Elijah Pepper, thank you very much again for joining us on the Perth Wildcast. We will probably be back in the next week or two. It's Christmas next week, so we might take next week off, although Elijah's keen on doing another one.
I'll do it. I'm here. I got nothing going on.
Oh, okay, sure.
My family's on the other side of the world.
I'm
So.
aware of that. Yeah, I know.
Orphan Christmas.
But a massive thanks to Nick Naitanui as well for joining us, the number one ticket holder of the Perth Wildcats. Of course, you can catch up on all the other podcasts that we've done so far. We've got 4 of them in the bank, and they're all pretty darn good. You can get them anywhere you get your podcasts or on the Listener app, LISTNR.